Hello and welcome to Mann's Model Moments. In today's video I'm following up from the HobbyBoss 2024 release video, I'll link that here if you've not already caught that, and going through the 2024 announcements from the next company in the ZY stable of brands, I Love Kit. This brand tends to be focused more on armour and naval subjects than the HobbyBoss and Trumpeter brands, and also tends to favour larger scales, and we'll see both of those preferences today. The company has announced 27 new releases for 2024, 25 of them armour subjects and 2 naval. So let's dive straight in, shall we? Starting off with their large 1/16 scale armour, we have 4 Sherman tanks, each of these based on their 2022 tooling of the early M4A3E8. Now all of these were announced last year in addition to the late version of the M4A3E8, but only the latter actually arrived. We're still waiting then on the M4A176W, the late version of the M4A1, the M4A1E8 and the M4A3E8 Thunder 7. So we'll have to see how many of these, and which versions, actually make it into stores in 2024. And as you'll have seen in the HobbyBoss video, this is a recurring theme with all of these brands under the ZY parent banner. Moving down to 1/35th scale, we start with another straggler from 2023, the M3 Lee, which was announced with a bunch of other M3s last year, and although the M3A4 and A5 made it out, the base M3 didn't. This is of course based on the same 2021 tooling of the M3A1 variant. Another couple of US tanks that didn't make it out in 2023, we have 2 M48s, the A2 and the A3, that follow on from the A5 in 2023 and the base M48 announced recently. These are all modifications from the M48A1 released in 2022. Next are the last vehicles that were announced last year as new tools that didn't arrive, and these are the Dingo 2s, the optoelectronic version and the Patsy. So we'll have to wait and see if these do happen this year, and which is the base tool when they're released. Next is a modification from a new tool that did arrive last year, the DUKW. This time it's supplied with a 105mm howitzer in addition to the base vehicle. We also get another modification to the M1278 that was first tooled in 2022 and got a couple of variants last year. And this one is another heavy gun carrier modification, this time the MCT-AGS. Last year we got the M153 Crows, so this is rounding out this modern vehicle nicely. Continuing that theme, we have a couple of variants to the M293 truck, first tooled in 2021. First of all, the M293 with the armoured cab, and secondly, the M295 with the Spark mine roller. The M295A1 was also a variant in 2021, so again, these complement the existing trucks well. Next up, we get another 3 variants of the M977 HEMTT, and together with the 2 trucks we've just covered, there's a lot here for modern military diorama builders, as these add a lot of potential for interesting setups. First off, we have the cargo truck variant, followed by the fuel service truck variant, and then finally the M1120 LHS. Vehicles like this do a lot of the behind-the-scenes work in forward bases, so I can see them appearing in FOB scenes, for example. Staying with that theme but now looking at completely new items, we have a couple of versions of the M1074. The first of these is the HEMTT PLS, or Palletized Load System, and again is a mainstay of mobile combat operations. The second is the CHU, or Container Handling Unit. These systems all came into operation during the 1990s, so I'm sure they'll please a lot of modern armour modelers and diorama builders alike. To replace a lot of these prior vehicles, the LVSR, or Logistics Vehicle Systems Replacement, were ordered in the early noughties, and modelers now find themselves able to do the same with 2 of these vehicles announced here, the base MKR-16 tractor and the MKR-18 cargo version. All of these are pretty big, heavy-duty things too, so will be pretty substantial models. The last set of new model vehicles are a series of Oshkosh M-ATV MRAPs. The first is a Special Operations Command Vehicle version, and the second is a similar vehicle with a trailer. The third version is an MATV cargo carrier, which again puts a slightly different spin on the normal military vehicle. We then switch to naval subjects, but strangely we stay with 1/35th scale for a couple of new entries for the year and some naval guns. Now we've seen this sort of thing for the Yamato from the likes of Tacom, but this is a bit of an unusual one for I Love Kit as far as I can see. In any case, we have a couple of variants of the Mark 45 5-inch US naval gun, the Mod 4 and the Mod 2. These were an interesting addition, and maybe they'll follow the success of those turret kits we've seen for World War II subjects. We then go to 1/200th scale for a more traditional subject, the USS Michael Murphy. This is an Arleigh Burke class destroyer based on last year's release of DDG-54, the USS Curtis Wilbur. Our last release then for I Love Kit is the 1/350th scale USS Sullivans. This is a new tool, which again was announced last year, but we never saw it arrive. So those are the releases for I Love Kit for 2024. Now, as with HobbyBoss, there are several kits featured here that were announced last year and we're still waiting for. It does appear that I Love Kit has a better hit rate with its announcements, and several of the kits we're waiting for are 1 or 2 late arrivals from around a 4 or 5 kit initial announcement in 2023, so at least we know something is happening, rather than the ominous lack of activity in HobbyBoss's 148th Armour, for example. I wonder if that comes from I Love Kit's tighter focus on larger scale armour kits, rather than trying to spread itself too thin over a very wide range of subjects and scales. I do think the amount of attention and focus being given to non-combat military vehicles is interesting, as these are frequently overlooked by other manufacturers in lieu of a cooler looking tank or military vehicle that might have a greater pull. That's admirable, and I hope military modelers reward the company by buying these kits so that it continues to explore these subjects and broaden the ranges available to everyone. In any case, even if only half of these subjects actually arrive at our doorsteps, there's still more than a lot of manufacturers are able to put out, especially since these are either all new tools or kits with extra parts to depict a new variant or version. Do stick with me though, because the next catalogue is the big one, Trumpeter. I look forward to hearing your thoughts on these releases in the comments below, and for you to join me on the next one. That's all for this instalment of Mann's Model Moments. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel for more like it, and share this video with others you think would also enjoy it. You can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook, and if you're feeling generous, then I also have a Patreon, which is absolutely the best way of helping me to grow the channel and produce more content like this. With that, I hope you have plenty of modelling moments of your own, and I look forward to welcoming you on the next video.